All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a feeling that is, well, pretty universal: the absolute dread of building your professional network entirely from scratch. Whether you've just totally pivoted careers, moved to a brand new city, or you're trying to bounce back after a major setback, staring at that blank slate is incredibly intimidating. You're probably sitting there thinking, where on earth do I even begin when I literally don't know anyone? Well, stick with me here because we're going to break down the exact strategies to rebuild your connections without feeling totally overwhelmed or exhausted. Okay, let's jump right in by completely flipping our perspective. I want you to think of networking not as, trying to build this massive, towering skyscraper overnight. Instead, it's a lot more like planting a garden. When you start a garden, you don't just chuck 100 seeds onto solid concrete and hope for the best, right? You tend to the existing soil, you patiently water the new seeds, and you actually give it time to grow. So we're going to look at exactly how to cultivate your own thriving professional ecosystem, step by step. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the mindset of starting over. Then, activating your existing roots, planting meaningful new seeds, nurturing your professional ecosystem, and finally, a quick summary to bring it all together in our networking garden. Let's kick things off with part one, the mindset of starting over. It is completely normal for starting over to feel super uncomfortable. It feels vulnerable. But here's a really profound truth. You simply cannot wait until you feel 100% ready. Honestly, it's just like learning to swim. You can stand at the edge of the pool reading books about swimming all day, just waiting to feel ready. But the confidence, that actually only comes after you jump into the water and start paddling. Taking that first, slightly scary step to reach out is exactly what generates the confidence you need for the second step. And this really perfectly illustrates the core shift we need to make. We absolutely have to move away from the old way of networking. You know the one, it creates so much transactional anxiety. It's going to a mixer, aggressively handing out 50 business cards, just trying to expand a contact list. It feels kind of sleazy, right? The new way focuses entirely on genuine, authentic relationship building. It's about finding a real human connection. Remember, at the end of the day, networking is fundamentally about relationships, not just racking up numbers on a spreadsheet. Moving right along to part two, activating your existing roots. So, the absolute easiest connections to rebuild are your old ones. Think of them as dormant plants in your garden. They really just need a tiny bit of water to spring back to life. Step one. Pick a former colleague, classmate, or even just an acquaintance. Step two, send an incredibly low-pressure message just to reconnect. Like, hey Sarah, it's been a while since we worked together at the old firm. Just wanted to drop a line and see how you're doing. And step three, casually share that you're starting a new chapter. Seriously, no pressure, no big asks, just a warm hello. The crucial takeaway here is that whether you're changing careers or rebuilding after a setback, you cannot be afraid to share your new direction with these existing roots. Think about it. If you spend months struggling to find a job in a new field, but you never actually tell your existing network what you're looking for, well, they can't help you. The moment you post a quick update, a former coworker might literally be the exact person to connect you with a hiring manager. People genuinely want to help you, but they just can't support you if they have no idea what you're working towards. All right, on to part three, planting meaningful new seeds. Look, you do not need a massive network overnight. Honestly, it's a huge sigh of relief when you realize that focusing 90% of your energy on cultivating just one meaningful relationship is way more valuable than blindly spending your energy collecting dozens of superficial contacts. One strong mentor or advocate who truly understands your goals can open more doors and provide more guidance than 100 random social media connections you've never actually spoken to. It is quality over quantity every single time.
But you might be wondering, how do you actually find that one meaningful connection? Well, you go fishing where the fish are. Join spaces that match your existing interests. This could be an industry club, an online professional org, a local meetup, or even a specialized forum. When you connect over shared interests, a natural alignment already exists. You don't have to force the conversation at all because you already have a built-in topic to just geek out over together. It completely takes away the awkwardness of a cold introduction.
And when you do start meeting people in these communities, here is your golden rule. Ask for conversations, not opportunities. It's exactly like dating. You wouldn't ask someone to marry you on the first date, right? So instead of asking for a job or a massive favor right out of the gate, Ask for their advice, ask for their insights, or see if they're up for a quick 15-minute virtual coffee to hear about their career journey. People love talking about their experiences. It feels incredibly natural, it flatters the other person, and it sets a solid foundation for a genuine bond without making anyone feel used.
Now for part 4, nurturing your professional ecosystem.
The real magic of networking, it happens in the follow-up. Always follow up after meeting someone. Turning a brief, fleeting interaction into a lasting connection is so easy if you just follow this little formula. After your chat, send a simple message. But here's the secret sauce in step 3. Mention a specific, personal detail from your conversation. Like if they mentioned their dog was going to the vet, say, "Hey, really hope Buster's vet visit went well." This proves you were actually listening, that you care about them as a human being, and you aren't just blasting out a copy-pasted networking template. Also, keep in mind that networking works best when it's mutual. It's very much a two-way street where you need to balance offering value with staying consistently visible. Now, if you're starting over, you might be thinking, what value can I possibly offer right now? Well, value doesn't have to mean giving them a job. Value can simply be sharing a fascinating article you just read that relates to their industry. It could be introducing them to someone else you know. And on the flip side, stay visible. Comment thoughtfully on their posts, jump into industry discussions, and just check in occasionally. That consistent, gentle interaction is exactly how real relationships grow. Finally, let's wrap this up in part 5, summary, the networking garden. Okay, so building a network from scratch is completely doable if you just stick to these principles. First, take action before you feel completely ready. Just jump right into the pool. Second, reconnect with your old contacts first. Water those existing roots. Third, focus on authentic conversations, not transactional favors. Fourth, take the pressure off by prioritizing just one deep connection over dozens of shallow ones. And lastly, offer mutual value and stay visibly engaged in your community. By doing all of this, starting over stops being this terrifying mountain and transforms into a deeply rewarding, actually manageable journey of human connection. So I want to leave you with this final thought. What specific seed are you going to plant in your professional garden today? Who is that one person you can send a super low-pressure message to right after this explainer ends? Go ahead and take that first brave step. And as you do, make sure to subscribe to AI Product Management Playbook by Deepak Dio on LinkedIn to keep fueling your professional growth. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy networking.